and no one to manage the land. Spanish explorers invade the Americas and bring with them the horse. First brought to the Caribbean islands, these animals reproduce and spread in the New World as fast as the wind. Horses have not been seen here since the Ice Age. Now they're back. It's as though the landscape has been waiting for them. Once ashore, a few horses run wild. A new breed evolves, which soon takes over North America. The Mustang. Within 300 years, they have reached the Central Plains and the Rocky Mountains. At the end of the 18th century, the Mustang makes it as far as Canada. "150 years later, there may be 7 million wild horses in North America. For the nomadic tribes like the Blackfoot, Cheyenne, Sioux, and Comanche in the Central Plains, these wild horses are a blessing. What they used to do on foot, fighting, hunting, traveling, they can now do on the backs of wild horses from Europe. It transforms their lives. This old world animal becomes a symbol of their native culture. Although the horse once came from across the Atlantic, it is now an image of nomadic America. As soon as the conquistadors have conquered South and Central America, one of them heads north. Hernando de Soto travels from Florida up the Mississippi River, looking for gold. The Spaniards leave death in their wake, and something else they bring along to keep them alive. As they journey through unknown jungles, the pigs help them survive. They are a perfect source of food. They don't take up much space in the boats. They look after themselves, and they eat everything they can in this new continent. They're prolific little beasts. A healthy sow can give birth to 10 piglets at a time. When the conquistadors leave some behind, they will have an ever-growing food supply for those who come after them. The pigs are key to their survival. But to Native Americans, they're a curse. In North America, natives do not fence their fields, and their staple crop of corn is irresistible. There is no evidence that Native Americans know how to fight this plague of pigs. Soon European swine are eating the seeds and young shoots. Only a few generations after running wild, the animal becomes very different from the typical farm pig. It grows tusks and gets bigger and aggressive. What began with a few pigs becomes a daily nightmare for the Native Americans. In addition to horses, Columbus brought 8 pigs to America on his second voyage. Within 20 years, there are 30,000 pigs on the island of Cuba alone. They multiply, conquering the Andes, the Amazon, and North America. But the Spaniard, his horse, and his pig would never have been so successful in the conquest of the New World without a hidden passenger. It is when the Old and New Worlds touch that the Native American meets his worst enemy. A very black dose for the continent. A Spanish missionary reports, an epidemic broke out, a sickness of pustules. Large bumps spread on people. Some were entirely covered, on the face, the head, the chest. They lay in their dwellings and sleeping places, no longer able to move or stir. The pustules caused great desolation. Very many people died of them, and many starved to death. No one took care of others any longer. Deadly diseases contaminate both continents of the Americas. For the natives, writes a chronicler, they are near all dead of the smallpox. So the Lord hath cleared our title to what we possess. To this day, scientists are still working to identify these diseases, to trace their paths, and count the dead.
Smallpox was accidentally introduced to the Americas in the 16th century. The smallpox virus is very hardy. In blankets that are used by smallpox victims, the scabs can live for weeks carrying the virus. And smallpox can also pass from host to host on board a transatlantic vessel until it reaches the Americas. And of course, once smallpox reached the Americas, it was introduced to millions of new hosts, human hosts, who had no acquired immunities to these diseases. And so smallpox, together with measles and influenza, had a devastating impact on Native American populations. No one knows exactly what the mortality was. Conservative estimates are about 50%. It was probably closer to 90% or even higher.
Through trade between native peoples, diseases spread through the whole continent. Many natives die of foreign diseases without ever seeing a European. Microbes move faster than the conquistadors who brought them. Some 50 years after Columbus first sets foot in the Americas, conquistadors and explorers find neither towns nor people. No one stands in their way. Most of the people are dead, and nature reclaims the land. Everything that they now find is pure wilderness, a Garden of Eden without humans. 1,000 different kinds of birds and beasts of the forest, which have never been known, neither in shape nor name, and whereof there is no mention made, neither among the Latins nor Greeks nor any other nations of the world, reports a Spanish missionary. It may be God hath made a new creation of beast. Explorers send exotic plants and animals, evidence of God's second creation, on the ships back to Spain.
Hombres, cargad.
Corn,
El ave al frente.
chili, and pumpkins. Domesticated in the New World, unknown in Europe. Tomatoes and potatoes. But there is an unwelcome passenger on board, an unintentional gift from the natives. It will lead to death in Europe. It will spread in the brothels, in the ports and cities of the Old World. It will be painful. It drives its victims mad. And it can take a long, long time to kill. This is the French pox, or the Spanish sickness. Syphilis. Europeans have no idea that this disease came from America, where more and more are aching to go. In the 17th century, a new wave of people heads to the New World, the settlers. England has defeated Spain to become a new European superpower. The English crown sets out to claim its share. In 1607, the British start a colony on the east coast of North America, in what is now Virginia. They name it Jamestown, after their king. This will become